Hello, nice to see you all again. Today, there are 24 songs from Romania that I'm going to be talking about, um, which will take a while. So, there are 7 categories on screen, and we have 24 songs, and I'm gonna try and explain what I think of each of these songs, and also categorize them into one of the 7 categories on screen. I think that's a clear enough opener. We'll get right into the video. 1994, Romania in Eurovision. They sent a song which I don't know the title of and I don't know the singer's name, and I don't really particularly remember the song too much. I think it's a bit of like a soft rock type of typically 90s song, which, it is a bit charming. I kind of like that type of music, but at the same time, I don't think this one really carries enough of a memorable impact to really win me over completely, as it might otherwise have done. I think it's an all right song, but it becomes a bit too incohesive, I think, towards the latter stages. It doesn't ever really pick up and doesn't really offer a clear melody to really imprint itself in my mind at any particular part of the song, in all honesty. And I also think that towards the end it becomes a little bit too shouty. It's a very kind of repetitive type of just trying and forcing its way into becoming somewhat memorable by just starting shouting towards the end, which doesn't really work for me. So I think we're off to a pretty poor start here for Romania. I'm sorry, but that's just really what I'm feeling. I think this is a not for me straight up. I don't find enough really positive qualities within this song to really rank it any further or high up than that, so sorry. Things will get better though, as they will quite instantly, because Romania, not a very good time during the 90s. They missed out a lot of years because of poor results and then not qualifying in the qualifying rounds or whatever to Eurovision. But in 1998, they were back in the final with a song called You Cred. It did not do very well, but I think that is very unjustified, because I think this is a very pretty ballad from Romania. Has a very lovely kind of melody in the chorus. It's performed exceptionally well. Doesn't really have enough of like a memorable impact as well, like the 94 effort, but this one just has so much more going for it in terms of its kind of just pleasantness. The instrumental has a nice flow to it. I think the song also progresses quite nicely, and the vocal performance is just very, very well performed. It's a very well sung song with a lovely melody and just a nice progression. It's a very smooth listening experience, very easygoing, while also having this pretty quality within it. So I think this is a really great entry. Particularly like just watching the performance as well, and just sitting back and enjoying whatever's, enjoying what's going on stage here. Minimalistic, but in a good way, I think. So I think that's a really great one. And I also think that The Moon by the group Taxi from 2000 is quite strong. It has a lovely chorus. I think the verses are a bit on the weaker side in the song, and vocal performance-wise isn't particularly super convincing. But the chorus has just that melody and that kind of what do you call it? Like a quality within it that just becomes so pleasant to listen to. I really just enjoy this chorus and how it flows so lovely on top of like a pretty energetic backing track, which has nice percussion behind it, like the instrumentation of this. And then also there's like this pan flute that comes in and just kind of takes over the show, I guess. But it's just really pleasant. Also like the stage layout. It looks very cozy and inviting. Really great. Like it for a lot of reasons that just have to do with kind of a very charming and comfortable atmosphere that I think it really sets. And I guess the opposite can be said for their song in 2002, because this is drama and kind of theatrical melodrama at its finest. It's so over the top, but I also really kind of enjoy it a lot. I think this probably has a tendency of a lot of people maybe get a bit turned off from this one, because it's very dramatic and it's very, theatrical in that sense. It wants to be very grand. But I think that it actually is pretty grand. I think the first half of the song is a bit maybe on the underwhelming side, because it doesn't quite pick up enough instrumental-wise to really back up these big vocal performances that they definitely are. But as the song progresses, I think the final part of the song really just connects everything. The vocal performances are so strong throughout this song that I can't really drag them down for that. And then when I think the song actually picks up enough to really back them up to the greatest of its ability towards the end, I think it's just one of these kind of parts of the song that really just clicks. I think everything works perfectly during this section. It's over dramatic esque, but in a way that really just works for me. I like it. I like the bombastic vocal styles combined with this grand backing track that they now have. The melody is very nice. I think it has a great intonation in it, and also flows very well between the different lines in the chorus in particular. Really great. Really enjoyed that one too. And Romania are definitely on the up here, because in 2003, I think this one is even better. This is its own thing, which I absolutely love. It's very upbeat, very energetic, very electronic, which is kind of nice. You know, it's the first little glimpse into the kind of Euro disco, Euro dance vibe. Really like the glitching sound effects. It's very Freestyler by Bombfunk MCs, if you know that song from the early 2000s or maybe late 90s. I don't know. But it's very for its specific time, and I just really like those kind of sound design effects. The playfulness of the instrumental is very strong here, and then you also have the vocal hook, which is incredibly memorable and also very well sung. I think everything just clicks incredibly well here. It's an ambitious performance with great choreography and just a fun kind of stage show to really back up a song which I already think is incredibly fun to listen to. Really love it to bits. Fantastic. I gotta say, I think the vocal melody in the chorus mainly is so strong. It has a lovely tone to it, and really just works so well with this type of song that it is, and the backing track really backs it up perfectly. So yeah, fantastic. 2004, on the other hand, is not so fantastic for me. I don't really enjoy anything about this. I think the hook is a bit on the obnoxious side. I think the vocal performance is quite weak. Not really sure what's going on stage here. Odd performance. I don't really like anything about it. Sorry, not for me. It's just straight up. I don't have anything positive to say about it, because I don't really think anything positive about it, which might be a bit unfair, because maybe there's something in here, but I would never just set out of my way to actually find something to enjoy about it when I'm kind of blinded by the things that I don't like about it. So sorry, but I'll just have to put it down there. 2005, on the other hand, Let Me Try. This is probably in the fantastic tier as well. I do prefer Don't Break My Heart from 2003 to this one, but this one just has so many great qualities to it as well. I love the percussion throughout this song. It's such a playful arrangement percussion-wise. The vocal performance is so strong. It could be a bit, on the shouty side, but I just think it offers so much power and so much drive in this song. It really takes it forward. The drumming is really the main core and kind of the main instrument in the song, really. But it just works so well when the vocal kind of just drives the drumming forward as well. There are also these nice sound effects with that scattered throughout the song, which I really like. It's detailed. It has elements that, they've thought the extra thing of just adding varied stuff throughout the song to really make it feel more alive and make it feel like more stuff is going on, which I always love. I also just love the whole performance and how they've dragged out all of these, what do you call them, like barrels and stuff on stage to hit percussion, to kind of just indicate the percussion playfulness that the song has. Love the sound design, love the drive of the song, love the performance. Fantastic. And Tornero is also a fantastic one. I think this one of the best vocal performances for sure. It just has so much conviction in it. But the song has such a great drive as well. The drum machine that just keeps going in the song, it's a very forceful type of drumming, or a forceful type of rhythm to just completely push the song forward all the time, while the hook is so memorable melodically. I think the main melody of the song is incredibly strong and incredibly memorable, and it's sung so very well that it just, it latches itself into my head and it stays there, and it's in a good way for once, because usually you have these hooks that just kind of get stuck in your head and you want them to go out, but this one, No. I like it too much. And then the performance is kind of just creative as well. I like the. I mean, it looks a bit, I guess, outdated with the whole dance battle thingy. I don't really get it, but it's still ambitious. There's an ambitious choreography being put in here to just kind of match the vibe that the song is going for as well. So I think it's flawless. Really love it. And I also love this. This might be a bit controversial. I don't know. Ljubi Ljubi, I Love You. I've always had such a soft spot for this one because I adore how playful it is and how carefully it's actually been structured. Because the tempo automation in this song is just to die for me. I love it to bits. I think the opening of the song is kind of really just sets a very charming tone with the guitar arrangement, which is a lovely guitar arrangement, by the way. I love the way that the guitar sounds, and I really enjoy the main melody of this arrangement as well. It's a very nice guitar lead. It's played so charmingly. I like the performers on stage a lot, and especially when the song opens, it's a very just charming and inviting opening with the guitar. And the guy handing over the guitar to the other guy and starts singing like very personally. I really like that, and I think this constant melody that keeps repeating, it's a very well-flowing melody. It just works in this type of song very nicely. I think it's a very has a very nice groove to it. And the language switches, you could consider it a bit cheesy, I guess, but it just adds something to the charm. It's one of these songs where you think it's either incredibly charming or you think it's incredibly off-putting, but I'm all for it. I love it. And then how the tempo really just gradually changes throughout, or well, increases and just builds towards this final climax where the sirens keep going and and then the pyro and just all of these guys holding each other, doing their dance together. It's just kind of an absurd entry in many aspects, but it's just one of those where I can't stop looking and I can't stop listening throughout its entire runtime. Also like the little detailing of like switching up the instrumental throughout. Of course, when the guy who starts singing in French starts singing, you throw in an accordion to just make it sound more French. It's kind of stupid, but it's just fun. I'm not really that blinded by it that I'm gonna put it in the among the greatest, but I think this is fantastic. I love every second of it. One of my absolute favorites from 2007. One of my absolute favorites from Romania, as you can see as well. We're in a very good streak here, but I think we're gonna drop back a little bit now because in 2008, it is a pretty ballad, it's a pretty duet, but I think this song kind of lacks a bit of a memorability. The vocal performances are strong, and I like how they work together as well on stage and vocally as well. They suit each other quite well. It's just that the melody isn't really something that really connects with me, but I like how they work together in the melody, especially in the chorus, how they use kind of a call-response technique vocally. It's a nice enough written song. Just doesn't have that real identity that makes me actually attach myself to it, but I still think it's solid. I think they were a bit unfortunate being drawn into opening the final in 2008 because that definitely... This is not a song to open a final, I don't think. It's too slow and too kind of dramatic for that, I think. But still, it's pretty enough. I think it's a solid effort. I also think The Balkan Girls from 2009 is quite solid. It's actually verging on the side of really great because it has so much energy and so much kind of harmless carefreeness. I also like the choreography. It's ambitious, I'm actually gonna put it in the really great category because I have too much fun with this song, I think. It's charming, it's very harmless, it's done with a purpose, and it really just executes that purpose to its fullest potential, I think. The chorus is memorable, the choreography is great on stage, they're very charismatic performers. It just really works, everything clicks, I think. The backing track also, has that energy, has that drive to it, it's very upbeat. I get happy listening to it. Yeah, I'm gonna put it in really great. And something that I'm gonna put even higher, Playing with Fire. This is fantastic. Love this duet. They complement each other so well. And it's kind of just remarkable how being seated at a massive piano for more than 2 minutes. I think they stand up towards the end, but for majority of the song, they're just seated there, and you still kind of just... It's a performance that's very infectious, and you get drawn into it. At least that's the case for me. Nice use of pyro and everything as well, of course, and the lighting on stage. But the song is the main selling point here. It has a great drive to it. Like the chorus a lot. It's has a great melody with a great intonation. Works very well with the backing track as well. The backing track has such a dominant drive in it. It's piano driven, but also have these hard-hitting percussion effects. The bass really works wonders in kind of establishing a groove within the song. And the vocal performances are so central in the song. They're really the storytelling part of the song, and they work so well together in how they, how they sing to each other. It becomes very intimate. You're like a fly on the wall for this performance, but it just really works in that case. And I love the attitude that they have when they sing as well. It's flawless, really fantastic. And in 2011, like Romania, I'm a really big fan of most of their songs in Eurovision, honestly. 2011, Change. I think this is incredibly fun, very charming, done with the right approach. It's not too remarkable, like melodically or performance-wise, but it's just charming and harmless, carefree. Has a great backing track. I love the piano arrangement in this song. I think it's a very bouncy, constant play. Like the playing of the piano is very constant and very playful in the background. Like the incorporation as well with the guy who's seated at the piano and how he comes in with the vocal arrangement as well and how they work together. The main vocalist is great. I think he has a lot of character in his voice. And I also kind of like these inputs of the horns, like the trumpet sections in the song. It's minor details, but they add so much and fill out the soundstage so well. Really great. I like it a lot. Tsalela, I think it's called Tsalela, 2012 from Romania. This is a big favorite among many people. Again, I have to be a bit of like the grumpy old man, I guess, because it's not my type of music. I'm sorry, but it really isn't. It's too cheerful, it's too upbeat, it's too happy, which I kind of contradict myself now when I've complimented the 2011 effort of how happy and upbeat it is. But this is, I can't really explain it. This type of music doesn't really vibe with me the same way. I don't think the instrumental is songwriting-wise as interesting as maybe the previous song. Not that you can really compare them. I don't know where I'm going now. I'm going very off track. But for Tsalela, I still really appreciate what they're doing. I have a lot of fun listening and the performance mainly I think is the strongest part of the song because it's very charming, very inviting. And there are, aspects in the instrumental as well. I think the instrumentation has something in it. It's just maybe like melodically and songwriting wise that I don't really connect with it, but it's still good enough to be put in solid for me. It's just that, for my subjective taste, it doesn't really go further than that. It's My Life by Caesar from 2013. It's just not for me. Honestly, it's it's one of these songs that maybe you should just appreciate for how out of the box it is, but I just can't with it. I think the production quality of it sounds quite kind of outdated. It sounds like it could have been, produced in 2006 maybe instead. But this is still 2013, and then you have this opera-esque vocal performance to work with this kind of club beat that already sounds a bit off for me. It's just kind of a mismatch of things that should be or could be admired, and also could be not admired, I guess. And I'm more on that side. I don't really want to grasp and really connect with this type of approach. I don't really gel with it. It's fun that they're doing something different with it, but it's just not something that I enjoy listening to. So that's really all there is to it. 2014, Miracle. So of course the duet from Playing with Fire returned with, I guess, hopes of winning. Didn't really work out that way. I think the song has... It's a nice melody. It's a nice... Again, they work very well together vocally. I think they complement each other perfectly well. It's kind of, this... It's a little bit of a wacky performance with the circle piano surrounding the main guy here. I guess that's charming. I think the production quality on this song is a bit subpar, to be completely honest. Considering what they produced 4 years earlier, I think there's like this kind of synth bass that's very constant in this song that brews way too loudly and kind of takes me out of it. And I think also the main hook of the song isn't very melodically interesting. I like the rhythmic kind of playfulness of the B section of the chorus, which is quite nice. But the main kind of part of the vocal hook of the chorus is very kind of minimal. It's not really too interesting for me, and I kind of lack that. And I think the verses are kind of on the weaker side as well. It's not really something that I remember too well, which I probably should mention because I don't know if I ever did, but in Playing with Fire, I think the verses are incredibly strong. Like the drive that they have and just the character that they really have vocally here. It's like a main selling point, really. I think it's probably even stronger than the chorus. I'm not gonna confirm that or deny that, but yeah. 2014, it's solid for me, not much more than that. 2015, however, this is really great, I think. Really like the vocal approach here. I like the backing track. The backing track is quite restrained, but it's also this kind of soft rock type of music, which I guess the 94 effort was, but now 20 years later. And I just like the sound design of this one way more. Also how the instrumentation is laid out. It's produced very well to make everything sound quite mellow and just like a nice progression in the back, while the vocal becomes very central with its storytelling. And the storytelling of this song, I think, is fantastic. Presentation is also quite great with the, kind of the inputs from the music video being showcased on the LED screen in the back. I mean, sometimes that can be a bit tacky, but I think that really works for this song with its purpose and with its message. So I'm really fond of that. Great performance, very pleasant song with a nice message. It's really great for me. 2016, of course, this wasn't actually, was it disqualified with this one? I haven't read into what actually happened, but this song didn't participate. Not sure if it would have done very well in the actual contest. This is not for me. Tries to be very grand and very epic, and with this kind of rock inspiration as well, with the guitar solos and a very chanting type of dark vocal style. It just doesn't really work for me. It feels kind of, what do you call it? Like a bit too, it's been stuck in the attic for a few years and you just dusted it off and then this came out. It's a very abstract way of describing what I feel about this song, but it feels very dusty. I think that's if that makes any sense. Yeah, not really my thing. Yeah, simple as. And yodel it. Yeah, of course, this is. I just realized we were kind of not in the correct order here. Yodel it is not my type of music at all. I understand that this is a bit funny because of how quirky it is, and I mean, she's a great singer and yodeler, I guess. It's just that the whole concept of it is too absurd for me, and I don't really particularly like the execution. I don't enjoy the song for what it does, even though that I kind of think it's a bit fun that they're doing something so very different. But the, what do you call it? The presentation of it and the actual execution is just not for me. I don't like it melodically. I don't like the instrumental particularly much. I don't think it's, it's definitely interesting, but it's not really something that I would ever listen to, because I think it's a bit too not me. I guess. I don't know. There's something in it that I guess should be admired, but I just can't. I don't particularly enjoy myself listening to this, so it is what it is. Then we have Goodbye from 2018, which was their first non-qualification, I guess, if you consider the efforts in the 90s where they missed out pre-contest. This is... the instrumental is quite nice. The guitars have a nice sound to them. I like the progression of the song, how it actually gradually gets bigger. The vocal performance is quite strong. It's just that melodically it's not very interesting. I don't think the melody has a lot of identity to it. Doesn't really connect with me. it's just not quite there. A bit stagnates a bit on stage as well, and yeah, it just has these minor setbacks that don't really make it too memorable for me, regardless of how much I might like the instrumentation or how much I like the performance vocally. I don't think the song is quite all the way there melodically. So that's, I think, the setback on this one. 2019, however, I don't know if you've followed my channel before or not, but I've always been very, very fond of On a Sunday. I think this song is fantastic, honestly. I love it to bits. The studio cut particular, just how it swaps from this very dark and moody guitar arrangement, which is a very nice guitar arrangement. I like the finger picking of the guitar arrangement a lot. And then how it moves into the second section of the song where the electronica really kicks in and takes over the soundstage. It's a very abrupt and unexpected change, which just works in the world building of this song, I think. It's a song that really relies on the kind of mysterious atmosphere that it sets right from the get-go. I like the sound design and the kind of just very dusk-like instrumental approach that they're taking right from the start. It's this kind of brewing atmosphere that really sits in the back all the time. And then when this electronica really takes over with hard-hitting bass hits with 808s, and then this really bright and distinct percussion to combat it, just works. Melodically, I really like the intonation of the melody, and I like the kind of vocal style as well, and particularly in the verses. And then how the song moves into the chorus, which has a nice flow in it, regardless if you maybe think the melody is a bit on the off side, maybe you don't really particularly connect with it. I think the instrumental really just backs up the melody and makes it more interesting than it might actually be. Also particularly like the ending section of the song. The staging is, kind of matches the vibe of the song. But yeah, it's I don't really know why. Oh, well, I don't know if I should sit here and complain, but I don't really understand why it didn't qualify. But it is what it is. I think this is fantastic. I love it to bits. Yep. I also love Alcohol You to bits. Wow, what a production! What a production! It's actually fantastic how well produced this song is. The mixing is out of this world. Love the sound design. The sound design is actually immense. Like the vocal performance as well in this song. Love the minimalistic approach, especially of the first chorus, and then how the second chorus, it's supposed to be a bit grander, but they don't really make it grander like by throwing in a bunch of like an orchestration behind it. It's more like still a very distinct instrumental approach with the few instruments that they really incorporate. It's this string arrangement that builds some energy into the chorus to fill it out, but it's still quite thin and narrow in its sound, which I'm particularly fond of. Just like the whole concept of the song, it's not very predictable in that sense. I just like the way the song really progresses, but I think the main thing that I love the most is actually the sound design and how the first half of the song really relies on this minimalistic approach of really just creating very distinct sounds to fill up a very empty soundstage. It's carefully planned out, and you really hear how well everything just works together in that way. And then they do kind of the same thing again with Amnesia. To be honest, in studio cut, I think this is a incredibly well produced song. I love the production quality of it. I love the way the percussion sounds. Again, they nailed the percussion with these two songs. And I'm really fond of like the drive that really picks up towards the latter part of the song. There's building energy, but very subtly, in a very subtle way in the very back, to really just kind of gradually go into the final chorus of the song. It's just that the staging and the stage performance and everything kind of let it down because vocally it wasn't very convincingly performed, unfortunately. It became a bit too much. It was overly ambitious and it really lost out because of it. The song really just keeps elevating it though for me. I can still listen to this song today and be amazed at the production quality of it. So I'll put it in the really great category. It's a shame that the performance didn't really match the ambition from the songwriting and the production of the song, unfortunately. And then we have Yamame, which I'm sure if you've watched my channel or you followed me before, you know that I really like Yamame. I love the performance of it. I think it's so charming. It's so much fun. It's a very nice choreography that you just can't, well, I can't take my eyes off of it because I think it's so much fun. The song has a great instrumental hook. I love the production of it, and I love the melody with how the instrumentation is really laid out as well. You know, a lot of people might be complaining about the inclusion of Spanish language or whatever. I don't really care too much. You could sing in gibberish for all I care. It's the music that I listen to, and I really enjoy the music of this one. I think it's really great again. Like the performance a lot. Really, really like the instrumentation of the song. Maybe it doesn't really have the most groundbreaking songwriting, but that's fine. At least I think so. It's not a biggie, and I think the instrumentation is what really sells it. And I enjoy it tons, especially with the performance that it has. And that is my tier list for Romania in Eurovision. I'm actually a bit surprised that I didn't put anything in the Among the Greatest category. Maybe I should have, but I'm not really... Like, now when I look on the screen, I don't think anything is really that perfect, like other songs that I've put in that category. Maybe I will look back at this video later and just think like, wow, I was too grumpy in this one. Regardless, as you can see, Romania is probably, or well, it is one of my favorite countries in Eurovision, as you can clearly see here. Do tell me what you think of Romania in Eurovision. Are you a fan or are you not? Do tell me. I'm eager to find out how many Romania lovers we have out there. Regardless, I hope to see you in another video soon. There will be one dropping tomorrow, of course, so be on the lookout for that. Take care of yourselves. Bye.